Jungkook was just staring at the direction she left when Jimin patted him on the shoulder, snapping him out of his gaze to look at him. Jimin. Jungkook, I feel something is wrong with her. Look at how she glanced at you before leaving. Jungkook. Everything is wrong. She is dealing with something else. I can sense it. Jimin. What do you mean? Jungkook. This morning I saw her crying alone. She seemed suspicious. I asked what happened, but she didn't tell me a single thing. Jimin. Oh, okay. But who is that leg? Jungkook. Her brother. Wait. Jimin, I feel like her brother isn't a good person. Jimin. Let's go to her home then. Jungkook. We shouldn't. She said her brother doesn't like others to come to their home. Jimin. Then we will do something. Let's follow her, stalk them secretly. Jungkook. Good idea. You don't come with me, Jimin. Jimin. Why? Jungkook. Inquire about her details all with our mans, and I will stalk her. Jimin smirked. Jungkook left him to follow Wyan. Jungkook came out of school, was looking for Wyan. He saw her walking slowly alone near the door, so he started following her secretly. Even if I didn't go to him, he would drag me no matter how scared I was of him. I couldn't even tell my dad about his son. I was crossing the road slowly, murmuring to myself. A truck in full speed was coming, and I couldn't move or run away. I just stood in the middle of the road. I didn't want to move even though the truck was honking. I got scared, shut my eyes, expecting my body to be hit by the truck. But I was wrong. I heard someone loudly calling my name. Strong hands pulled me away from there to somewhere safe. When I opened my eyes, I saw that it was Jungkook who had saved me. He slapped her cheek in anger, unable to control himself. He grabbed the back of his neck with his other hand placed on his hip, sighing in frustration. He looked at her with great seriousness, suppression in his eyes. But she didn't react except for looking at him too blankly. It was the first time she saw tension mixed with fear on his face, along with concern in his eyes. Where the hell were you? Seriously, do you even possess basic common sense? The truck was honking, but you were standing there as if you were a child? Pull these stunts again. I will kill you, I don't care if you are a girl. I will throw that aside without a second thought. He was yelling, but his eyes softened when he saw tears in her eyes again. He cut off his yelling, thought he had slapped her too hard. His anger faded in a second, switching back to normal condition. Jungkook, Wyan, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to slap you, I couldn't control myself. She burst into tears, hugging him as if her life depended on him, as if she had nothing else. He was super shocked and surprised at the same time, unable to believe that she by herself hugged him. Despite his shock, he gently hugged her back. Jungkook, I'm so sorry, please be calm, I can't control my anger. I will do whatever foolishly when I get angry. That's why a lot of people call me a bad boy too. I regret slapping you. You are crying just because I hurt you, Wyan. Hearing that, she broke the hug and shook her head. You aren't the reason I'm crying. Jungkook, then who is it? Tell me quickly. I will end them before sunset. He wrote, but she didn't want to remain silent. She wanted to tell him everything. But before she could do, she needed to know if he genuinely cared about her. Wyan, if I ask you something, can you answer me? Jungkook, ask me. Wyan, why are you showing this much care and giving attention to me? Why would you kill anyone if they are the reason for my tears? It made Jungkook silent, not even allowing him to speak as usual. He looked at her, unsure about what he was supposed to say and what would happen next. Wyan, your silence means there is nothing for me from you. Isn't that why you are silent? Then she felt a rock break her heart into pieces instantly. She had hoped that maybe he had feelings for her, something like love. But his silence, instead of saying something she expected, made her feel broken inside. If he had said something she expected at the time, she would have already opened up to him. But his silence made her feel broken inside, leading her to choose silence as well. She decided there was no need to tell him about her. Even when he slapped her, that moment didn't hurt her as much as his silence is hurting her now. It made her eyes water as she looked at him with sadness. She turned around to leave, but he held her. She didn't turn back, but said something while looking forward. Only hold my hand when you can answer me, Jungkook. Then I won't deny anything. He had to let go of her hand silently. What does anything mean? Why did she say that, even though she knows he isn't that good boy? Jungkook is stunned for the first time in his life, unsure of what to do. His phone started ringing, but he didn't attend the call, as he was too busy. Chaotic moments like that. She walked away from there. It's been a couple of minutes, but he is still there not moving, as if he lost himself. His phone rings again, and this time he picks up the call with a disappointment expression. Jimin, why didn't you answer my calls? Jungkook, what happened, Jimin? Why are you yelling? Jimin, I got some information about her, that's why I'm calling you to let you know. Jungkook, what is it? Jimin, as far as I know, Wayne has no siblings and her parents are dead. But a man named John adopted her as his doctor because Wayne's parents helped him when he was in a difficult time. Jungkook, what? He was stuttering, trying to ask, struggling to digest the fact that Wayne has no parents. Jimin, yes, and Mr. Johnson's name is Lei. In his office, some people are saying he was a womanizer. Jungkook narrowed his eyes as questions floated in his mind. While Jimin continued to speaking non-stop, he wondered if Lei is the one behind her tears, if he is the problem of her, if he is the reason why she isn't happy. Jimin, Jungkook, are you there? Jungkook, yes I am. He responded by clearing his throat. Jimin, okay, you are still following her, right? Jungkook, no. Jimin, why did you stop suddenly? Jungkook, I couldn't as I was. He explained what happened. Jimin, if I was there, I would have surely punched your face. Jungkook didn't talk back. He remained silent and feeling low. Meanwhile, Wine had to come home directly as she couldn't dare to refuse her fate. Before ringing the doorbell, she raised her hand, realizing her hands were already shaking and her legs too. She tried to calm herself to ring the bell, making it too late to enter, but the doors opened from inside, revealing Lei standing in front of her. His shirt buttons were open halfway, and he looked tired of waiting until now. As she didn't come as soon as possible, she swallowed her saliva, trying to prepare for what she was about to experience. Prepare abuse from him. Breaking the silence, he asked her with a cold expression, Lei, why haven't you come early? She was clutching her dress, searching for an excuse, not daring to mention about Jungkook. Lei, it's been 30 minutes since I informed your principal, but you came here as if you are a heroine. He gritted his teeth, grabbing her wrist and dragging her inside, not allowing her to stand outside. She tried to stop herself in tension. Why? I didn't mean to be delayed. I was late because of my friend. He stopped and looked at her with a suspicious expression. That's when she covered her mouth, realizing immediately how foolish she was for telling the truth instead of trying to lie. He let go of her wrist. Lei, wow, even though I said no, you recklessly made friends with someone already wild? His tone sounded mocking as he sarcastically asked her fearful expression. Why? Let me explain. Explanations comes next, Warren. First you need to receive your punishment for your reckless disobedience. He slapped her, causing her eyes to go blank, fell on the sofa due to his sudden action. Before she could regain her self-possession, he pulled her head, forcing her to stand again. She placed her hand on her head, where he still gripped it harshly. She closed her eyes tightly, opening them to realize what he had done. The experience was too terrible for her. Lei, isn't it fair to beat you for your reckless behavior, baby? He pulled more harshly, making her head raise. She screamed in pain and fear. One, please give me a chance to explain how it happened. He crossed his arms over his chest, gesturing for her to explain. One, at first I ignored him, but he made me his friend against my will. I really didn't want someone's friendship, I swear. But after that, She cut off her explanation because it was for her own good. At first, she didn't like friendship with Jungkook, but after, it turned from hate to like. He? I thought your friend must be a girl, but it was he, not she. He asked as if she had committed a crime. She couldn't respond to what he said. She pursed her lips. He squared his shoulders and poking his tongue into his cheek. His expression suggested he was thinking of something important, but she understood that something bad might happen. He slapped her thinking her friend was a girl, but it's boy, not a girl, so it will be more painful for her to face his cruelty in a few more minutes. But before he can, he wanted to know something else too. So, just like a brother to you. Just like a brother to you. Enough. Today will show you what torture is for you. He pulled her wrist, making her shiver even more as he unbuttoned his leather belt. But he dropped his hand when he saw someone was coming running towards them. Wayne followed Lei's gaze and turned back and saw Jimin was coming. He stopped when he saw both of them closer to each other. Wayne was filled with fear and Lei looked angry. Who are you? He let go of Wayne's hand and walking towards Jimin, who was already coming inside without waiting for their permission. Jimin, I'm Jimin, her friend. Lei thought. So, this is the one who is Wayne's friend? He wanted to ask Jimin what he found suspicious. Just a friend? Jimin, yeah? Which type of friend? Like a brother to her or a boyfriend? Jimin looked at Lei with a weird expression. As his eyes squinted, Lei's surprised him. Jimin chose the better option and avoided directly answering Lei's question. Jimin, I already have a girlfriend, so do I need another girl for me? Lei was slightly satisfied, realizing there is nothing wrong for him to suspect in their friendship. Jimin, why don't you have to come with me? She looked at Jimin with a blank expression, not understanding why is he ordering her to go with him. She can't go with you. Jimin, why? Jimin, why does she have to come with you? Jimin sighed in frustration, looking at Lei with a sarcastic expression. Jimin, because we need to do a project. Lei, well, she has something work to do here, so do the project by yourself. Why would I take on the burden of the project alone? I will complete to the teacher, because the teacher is the one who give wine to me as a project partner. Also be ready. They might make a phone call to your dad. He simply lied, pretending like he was leaving, but Lei told him to stop. If anyone makes a call from school, it will reach his dad, and then his dad will know that Wayne had to come back from the school just because Lei made it all happen. Do that damn project, come back quickly. You have to deal with so many things here, he said to her while gritting his teeth, putting on an act to show he was cool too. She nodded in disbelief and looked at Jimin with a thankful look. Jimin smiled at her and gestured with his hand at the doorway, reminding her to walk with him.